everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to Panther Sports. I'm Matt Wolf, and it's great to be with you. We have a great show for you today. We're covering everything from volleyball to a European basketball player here at HPU. Let's get things started here by taking a look into the volleyball season. Caroline Barber had a chance to take a glance back at their season and graciously recap it for us. Let's see it here now.
Recap of everything important you missed in volleyball this season. The Lady Panthers didn't get off to a great start this season, losing their first 4 games. But on September 16th, they won their first game against the Charlotte 49ers thanks to Courtney Jonk and Kirsten Heidet, who both had 11 kills. Coach Jason Oliver said that every single person on the floor executed at their full potential in the same game for the first time this season. We played great defense, dug balls, blocked well, and forced Charlotte to make mistakes. A week later, when the Panthers were playing the Camels, Courtney Jonk made a double-double consisting of 11 kills and 14 digs. On October 7th, High Point played the Flames, coming out ahead in a 3-0 victory. They had many double-digit kills made by Kirsten Heidet, Chelsea Davis, and Courtney Jonk. The Panthers were on a roll, beating Ramford the very next day in a 3-2 win. Coach Jason Oliver said, "This is the type of tough, scrappy game we lost early in the year, but today we didn't quit and kept finding ways to score. Our upperclassmen stepped up and made plays when it counted." Marley Broadlow made 44 digs between the 2 games, which broke her career high. On October 14th, they won again in a game against the Blue Hoses of the Presbyterian College. In this game, Heidet, Carsey, Davis, and McDonald all got double-digit kills, and Holiday had 15 digs. November 8th, the Panthers won 3-1 against North Carolina Central, which was the final non-conference game of the season. Brianna Holiday had 9 digs and 3 aces during the match. A few days later, they won again against the Charlotters. Heidet gave the Panthers a lead when they were tied 9-9 in the 4th set. Coach Jason Oliver said, "This was a battle from start to finish, but we fed off a great crowd and came away with the win." On November 12th, the Panthers beat the Lady Buicks in the regular season finale. Over the season, the players had many achievements, with Chelsea Davis becoming the Big South Freshman of the Week. Courtney Jonk got the second-team All-Conference honors. Kirsten Heidet was named to the All-Freshman team, and Marley Broadlow got a spot on the All-Academic team. Now back to Panther Sports.
Well, as you saw, volleyball had another great season. Now let's examine another great sport here at High Point University, our men's soccer team. Last year the team was the regular season Big South Conference champions, and this year they wanted to take home the conference championship again. Here's Lauren Pivarato to take us through their season.
Coming off the best season in program history, the 2011 men's Panther soccer team was slated again to finish atop the Big South Conference. There were high expectations for this year's team, however the Panthers did not have a strong start to the season. After suffering several losses in non-conference games against Stony Brook, Kentucky, and South Carolina, the Panthers fell to Liberty 2-1 during the Big South opener. Liberty jumped to a 1-0 lead in a goal by Alex Verville. The Flames almost doubled their lead, but senior goaltender Michael Chesler saved it, allowing the game to go into halftime still 1-0. High Point would get on the board early in the second half after forcing an own goal by Liberty's Greg White, but Liberty would eventually solidify their 2-1 win. The Panthers were able to get their first in-conference win against Winthrop with a final score of 6-0. The 6 goals scored by High Point in the game is the second most scored by the men's soccer team in the Division I era. Okayoma scored off a throw-in by junior Shane Malcolm. Martinez got the second, and freshman Mamade Naipin headed the ball in to finish the scoring for the first half. Okayoma and Martinez would once again score for the Panthers in the second half, and junior Patrick Donahue would wrap up the scoring with a header. The Panthers began to gain momentum on the season with a win against UNCG and a tie with UNC Asheville, but they went on to lose 4 of their next 5 games against Coastal, Radford, Gardner-Webb, and Longwood. However, the Panthers were able to snag a W against Presbyterian, finishing the game 5-0. Senior Michael Chesler made 3 saves, including a stop late in the second half to secure his 3rd shutout of the season and 19th for his career. The Panthers finished the season strong, winning their final 3 games against Campbell, VMI, and VCU. The game against VCU proved to be an exciting one for the Panthers. 2 second-half goals in a span of 45 seconds propelled the Panthers to a come-from-behind 3-2 win in the Fox Soccer National Game of the Week. Chesler made a season-high 7 saves in the game and grabbed his 40th win of his career, making him the first HPU keeper to reach the 40-win mark. High Point finished tied for 4th in the conference along with Liberty and Radford and entered the 2011 Big South Tournament as the number 6 seed. They would go on to lose in the semifinals of the Big South Conference 4-3 in penalty kicks.
Now, part of the men's soccer team is Sean Sloane. A lot of students work mundane jobs for money over the summer, but Sean spent his summer volunteering and preparing for the future. Colin Murphy tells us the story.
Sean Sloane is a men's soccer player at High Point University who spent his summer giving back to the community.
This past summer I actually volunteered at Baptist Hospital, which is Wake Forest University's hospital, and I volunteered in the emergency department. They set me up at a desk, the help desk in the waiting room. So when patients' families would come in wondering how their son or loved one or whoever was in there was doing, I had to tell them what was the problem, if they could go back and see them, and then if that was the case, I would escort them back. And so basically I just had to keep the waiting room, under control.
Volunteering at the hospital was tough, but being successful as a soccer player and a biochemistry major is even tougher.
Time management is definitely one of the toughest things of being a student athlete at any university across the nation, especially having a biochemistry major where 3, maybe even 4 days a week you have labs or extra projects or research assignments.
Despite a disappointing season this year, Sean was optimistic for next season.
We still have the family atmosphere within the program. All the guys are really buying into putting the work in for next year. So starting January 10th, right when we get back from our break, we're going to get right back into the weight room, start conditioning, really getting prepared for next year. And I think the most important thing is just not to take any game for granted, especially going into my senior year.
Sean has worked hard during his time at High Point and has big plans for the future.
I want to be a doctor, but as to what type of doctor, I don't know. I really enjoy chemistry, so I thought about being an anesthesiologist, but then I thought about going into some surgery, doing something like that. And then even, cancer interests me, so I thought about oncology. So I guess I'll, decide when I get there.
Whatever the future holds for Sean, with his strong work ethic, he's almost guaranteed to be successful. I'm Colin Murphy, Panther Sports.
After back-to-back conference championships, the women's soccer team had their sights on making it 3 in a row. With a nice mix of youth and experience, the team felt it was destined to bring home another championship. Let's take a look back at how they did. Let's recap our women's soccer team season. Our ladies started slow, tying Navy in their first game. They then went 2-2 on a 4-game road trip. After the road trip, our ladies came home to a crushing overtime loss to ACC opponent NC State. Our Lady Panthers then had a slip-up when they went on a 4-game losing streak, which they finally corrected at home against Charleston Southern with a 1-0 victory. The win against Charleston Southern propelled our ladies into their next home matchup against our conference rivals, Coastal Carolina, who they easily handled 4-1. Our ladies then had a poor 2-game road stand, losing 1 and tying 1 game, before coming home and righting the ship with a 1-0 victory against conference opponent Liberty University. The ladies then won 1 game and tied 1 game on the road before returning home to beat VMI on senior night. Our ladies ended their regular season on the road, losing 1 and winning 1, giving them a berth into the conference tournament. In the conference tournament, our ladies lost in the first round to 5th-seeded Liberty University. And that is a recap of the women's soccer team season. Do not touch that dial. When we come back, we're going to take an inside look at a couple of basketball players here at school. And we will hear from a couple of seniors about their time here at High Point.
Why is High Point University ranked 3rd among regional colleges by U.S. News & World Report? It's simple. At High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people.
Why is High Point University in the top 25 on Parade Magazine's College A-list? It's simple. At High Point University, every student receives an extraordinary education in an inspiring environment with caring people.
Welcome back to Panther Sports. After the big win against Pittsburgh, this High Point junior has shown she is ready for a great season. Erin Reynolds, although only 5'3", has become one of the highest scoring players on the team. Caroline Stewart sat down with Erin to find out more.
I'm Erin Reynolds. I'm from Beckley, West Virginia, and I'm a junior at High Point University.
She's a great kid all around. I mean, I think she spends more time in our office sometimes than we actually do. We joke around as a staff and say we have to kick her out sometimes. But she's just a great kid to coach. She's a coach's dream, and that she's constantly in there asking questions. She loves to watch film. And she wants to do whatever it is it takes the team to win. So it's not about her scoring points, but she can obviously in the Pitt game where she goes off for 36, to the Vanderbilt game where I pulled her aside at halftime and said, hey, it's not falling tonight. Let's get something easy and let's find a way to get our teammates involved. And she's always going to do whatever we ask her to do.
I want to give it to Erin Reynolds, who's led this team so far with her 22 points and has really been able to handle the ball against this long athletic team.
Just a great experience to get the win at home and having the crowd here and everyone cheering. So it was just a great experience and a great win for me and my team. I would say we're very close. Just all the hard work that we go through, we really realize what we go through as a team, so that brings us closer.
She really takes over and really shows that she can do anything for our team, and at any given moment she's the one that we usually try to go to and look to step up.
She's got a lot of confidence, but not in a cocky or a bad way. And so at times some of the shots she takes, you kind of are wondering if it's a good shot or a bad shot. But once she got into a zone in that game, when she's feeling it like that, there's not many people who can stop her because she's so quick with the ball in her hand that people have a hard time staying in front of her. And when she can add the three like she did in that game, she's hard to guard. I mean, you almost have to send traps and that kind of stuff at her. So, she just really was feeling it in that game. And I'll be honest, I didn't even know when the game was over she had as many points as she did. But, it was a big game for her. She's a kid that really steps up to challenges. I think being a smaller kid, I think she takes it on as a challenge that Pitt she felt like really didn't respect us coming in. They were talking about their Duke game instead of us, and she stepped up. She's got a heart bigger than anybody on the floor. So you can't measure that.
Spent a lot of time here this game because.
As you just saw, playing Division I level basketball is hard enough as it is. But trying to play Division I level basketball in the United States when English is not your native language is all the more difficult. For Branimir Mikulic, the journey began in Europe, traveled through Florida for junior college, and finally ended here at High Point. Matt Perry asked Branimir for a video diary about his journey.
Bok, moje ime je Branimir Mikulić i ja dolazim iz Hrvatske. Ja igram košarku za High Point University. Košarka je jako popularan sport u Hrvatskoj i mnogo mladih se bavi košarkom i želi se baviti košarkom. I started playing basketball in my 7th grade. I was really tall for my age, so I decided to try play basketball because basketball is sport for tall people. The hardest thing to pick up was basketball technique and just situation where you need to be on the court. Between European style and American style, because American style is way faster than European style because players are more athletic, but European style is more skilled and way slower than in America. I made that decision because I wanted to play basketball and study at the same time. Back home, we can't play basketball and study at the same time. After high school, we need to decide, or we're gonna go play professional or we gonna go and study. The hardest thing was because that was a junior college, everybody wants to score, everybody wants to improve their game, so it kind of was really tough, but I also have a time to improve my game and everything, so other coaches from Division I schools, they saw that, so that's also a reason why I came here at High Point University. Future goal is play as much as I can, just improve my basketball and everything, so my plan is to go back to Europe and play in some country over there, and after that, because I have diploma, so I can find the job really easy. Moje ime je Branimir Mikulić I ja studiram za High Point University.
Finally, with the conclusion of the semester, it wraps up several sports here at High Point. As we close the seasons of volleyball, women's, and men's soccer, we asked a senior member of each team to share some of their thoughts on school, playing their respective sport, and what they would tell incoming freshmen on their future.
My favorite High Point athletic memory would have to be winning the championship my junior year. It was really exciting to actually put it all together and finally get that ring in the end and be the first ones to win it in High Point history for volleyball teams. I remember having nightmares before I went to college about stepping onto the field for this first time and not being able to move or
just being in complete shock when I stepped onto the field. And I think I started our first game at home, and I just remember feeling very accomplished. And when you work so hard for something for so many years growing up, and it was always my dream to play Division I soccer, and then to finally be on the field and see your name come up on the scoreboard, I mean, it's just a big feeling in your heart that you really can't explain.
Go on and play professional soccer. I don't know where yet, but hopefully I'll get a contract and get to play for a couple of years and then figure out what to do from there.
My advice for incoming freshmen would be to enjoy every minute of it, to enjoy every minute of your career, of your academic life as well, because it really does fly by and you don't realize it until you actually get to the end that it's finally over.
To take every moment and remember it and make the best of it, because it goes by so much faster than you think it will, and it's such an incredible experience.
Work hard and stay humble. It takes a lot of work to get to where you want to be, and you can always get better, so never be satisfied with where you're at.
And that's not to say that there's not ups and downs and good and bad times, but it's probably one of the most incredible things I've ever experienced, and you just want to lock the memories in and be able to keep them forever, because it's something you definitely want to remember forever.
Well, we are just about out of time here on Panther Sports. As always, we hope you enjoyed the show. We had fun bringing it to you, and for all the information you could need about High Point Panther Sports, make sure to check out highpointpanthers.com. Thank you for joining us today, and have a happy holiday season.